Thank you for joining our discussion, Trent.
My pleasure.
During your time at the Amtrak Northeast Corridor, you introduced the use of the incident command system to their response to emergencies on the railroad. Can you tell us about your program and its outcome?
Yes, of course. And I owe Dr. Edwards full credit for my ability to participate in the in this event or in this process, I should say. But just give it a little history. Typically, throughout history with the freight railroads and with passenger rail, most incidents are local. For example, there'll be a derailment in a switching yard, or there'll be a derailment on a main line that is out in the middle of nowhere and doesn't affect anyone other than the train crew itself and the right of way. Same thing with the passenger service. And so those types of events and are just handled with the local personnel and local authorities that will get the right of way back up and running and the rolling stock moving again. But as things develop more with the weather and the weather events becoming more severe, such as some of the tornadoes we've seen and some of the hurricanes, Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Katrina, that caused major shutdowns to passenger and freight railroads. It was decided by executive management at Amtrak that we should get involved with a emergency response plan that would be consistent with the incident command system, because as these events got more and more prevalent, local and state authorities were using the incident command system process, first responders and so on, that that we could blend into and work more closely with them in catastrophic events that would necessitate working with local and state authorities, and in some cases federal authorities. And so in 2012, the president of the company, Joe Boardman, tasked us with putting together a incident command emergency response manual that would be distributed to all personnel in the company. So I was chosen because of my background at MTI and my credentialing that Dr. Edwards encouraged me to get with the ICS certifications and so on. I was chosen to represent the onboard operations and stations services department specifically, as part of my contribution to the response manual. This group met in Washington, D.C., and we had an outside vendor that guided us through the process. We met about every couple of weeks for about 6 or 8 months to get the manual together. And once that was done, it was distributed throughout the company, either through the internet, closed internet with the company, or written documentation that each person could have in hand and would respond to accordingly if they were involved in a incident. So we were put to the task in 2015 when we had the tremendous or horrific, I should say, train derailment, train 188, just outside of Philadelphia, where 11 people were killed, and we had over 200 people on the train itself, and several serious injuries as well. So we responded to that event, and we put as part of our incident command process, we instituted a local family service center to take care of all the families and the deceased and so on and so forth there in Philadelphia. And we ran the rest of the ICS programs at other locations, but it went off fairly well. It was certainly a test. When we met a year later as a group, we did a debrief on the whole process, and it was clear that we needed better inter-department communications throughout the day, and we needed professional doctors that could handle some of the mental stress that some of these families were going through. It was certainly beyond our capability as employees of the railroad to deal with some of the psychological and emotional issues that needed to be addressed by some of these families that lost loved ones. So out of that, we refined some of the procedures and processes of the manual, and after we met in California for the debrief, we continued fortifying and modifying the process by working with local authorities in Boston specifically. I can speak to that. Is that we would have a mock-up that we have a incident in a tunnel along the main line, and we'd have the fire department, we'd have first responder, medical, and police department there, and we would go through the process of a search and recovery of the incident and any injured people, the passengers that would be on the train itself. So those kinds of scenarios worked out very well, and it helped us to refine the process. And to my knowledge, that process is still ongoing at Amtrak.
Thank you for sharing your experiences on the Amtrak Northeast Corridor with us.